Hey guys, my name is Reddy, and welcome to the ultimate Facebook advertising webinar. So originally, my whole idea for the webinar was to make it like this big webinar, which has like pretty much everything on it. So now what I've figured is that if I shoot two parts of it, I think you guys are going to learn the concepts much easier because I'm going to go into a lot of deep stuff today. And it's just going to be easier for you to learn, understand, and implement. Because one of the most important things about webinars that I like personally is they're easy to implement. Okay, so if you bought courses, if you bought masterminds, if you bought whatever, it's kind of hard to go out and start implementing some of the concepts because there's like 6 hours of content, 7 hours of content, 8 hours of content. Some courses you have 19, 20 hours of content. How do you take all of that and implement it? It's hard. So, however, when it comes to webinar format, it's 10 times easier because it's just like 1 hour, maybe 2 hours of straight content that you can take out there and put it into action. Another thing that we've done on this webinar that is different is when I ran the original webinar last December. Okay, it was called Facebook Ads for E-commerce. I was about to call this the Facebook Ads for E-commerce Part 2, but then I realized that this is the ultimate Facebook webinar. It's not just for e-commerce, but like you can use it for anything. Okay, it's more meant for e-commerce because that's my sector, but you can use it for anything. Okay, so anyway, when we ran that webinar last December of 2018, so if you guys are watching this webinar in 2022, 23, whenever, it's 2019 right now. We're in August. Okay, and last year in December I ran my first webinar. It was called the Facebook Ads for E-commerce. So I went in as to what we do, with our own e-commerce businesses, with some of the clients' e-commerce businesses. And back then, I believe we made about $6,000-7,000 in a week selling this wallet, like a phone wallet case, using the same exact principles. And then we had multiple e-commerce businesses back then, like very major ones. Now we still do have a lot of e-commerce businesses, but like our major focus right now is just the advertising part. So, back in the day we would do all the fulfillment and stuff like that. Now we don't do the fulfillment as much because we figured out that our core sort of offering or our core strength was the Facebook ads part. It was not necessarily the fulfillment part, but the Facebook ads part. So the way we run it now is we partnered up with a few companies. They handle the fulfillment, we handle the advertising. So now the information you're going to get right now is more advanced than what it was in December, because right now, back in December we would do a bunch of stuff. We would do the fulfillment, we would do the ads, whatever. Now we only focus on the ads, right? So there's a different sort of context that you're getting right now, which is more powerful and more updated and more advanced. And of course there have been a lot of changes. Back then we used to use the ad set budget optimization. Now people rarely use the ad set budget optimization. It's actually going to go away next month for most Facebook accounts. For some of the accounts that it actually remains on, that's probably going to go away on January. Okay, so so campaign budget optimization is this new sort of business model of Facebook, new optimization model of Facebook that you need to understand if you want to survive in the Facebook ads game. Not just that, there have been multiple changes after that as to, the CBO being the highest one because that changes the whole way of how we used to advertise. Another thing is back when we ran the December's webinar, I think I had about 17 or 18 people make their first sale using that information. Okay, and we had one guy make up as much as $18,000 in a single day. Okay, he was making $200 a day. He watched the webinar, went out there, implemented it. He made as much as $18,000, I think, in one day. Okay, he sold 800 units of a product in one day. And then we had Brent Shepard. Brent Shepard got in. He was doing about 15 something $1,000 in sales back in December. A lot of it was just like he was breaking even, barely breaking even. Literally, like all his money would come in from the back end, not necessarily the front end. He was breaking even on the front. He watched the webinar. He used, like, he didn't even go through the webinar and use the whole formula. Like, he used one trick that I showed him on the webinar. He cut his cost per purchase in half. Okay, so his cost per purchase was $15-16. He started implementing this. His cost per purchase went to $7. Okay, that's how cool, that's how transformational the webinar was for him. So now, earlier he was just like breaking even on the front end. Now he's making $7 to $8 on the front end. Okay, probably more. Probably made like $10 on the front end, maybe 15. So that's, and like now he's got like a business that's about to do $200,000 this month. So that's pretty awesome. And again, there's a lot of people. This one guy from Philippines. He sent me a testimonial the other day, a few weeks ago, actually, and he told me that he's used the strategies to make his first, I think, $10,000 or $12,000 a month. That was great to know. There were many people, guys. There were many people. Even some of the top experts. Like I remember Cody Neer took like this one strategy from the webinar. He put it into action, and instantly he was doing like $400 something a day with it. So yeah, I mean, many people were getting results with it. Okay, with the first webinar, I think I've stacked close to 80 testimonials just from that webinar, probably 100. And that's one of the reasons why I decided to shoot this one. It's because this one's going to get 200 testimonials, probably 1,000, because I'm going to advertise the hell out of it. Okay, because now it's more advanced, right? Like back then we used to handle a lot of the fulfillment and all that sort of stuff, and we didn't have as much experience. Now we only do the Facebook. Okay, so like for major brands and stuff like that, like we only do the Facebook ads now. So it's pretty cool because now we have a whole plethora of information that we can share with you. Anyway, with that said, let's get into the house rules. So here's a few rules for you guys. Turn off all the phones, social media, anything like that, so you stay distraction free. If you got like Facebook on the side, if you have phones on the side, whatever, guys, you're not going to be able to focus on what I'm going to be showing you or what I'm going to be teaching you. So yeah, just turn them off. Just get it at the phone. Throw it out the window. Okay, that was a joke. Don't do it. Don't take your phone and throw it out the window. We don't need that. But I mean, if that's what you want to do, then it's up to you. Anyway, results are not typical. So like I'm gonna be showing you guys a lot of screenshots and of proof and whatnot. So results are not typical, guys. Okay, so I'm not in any way telling you that if you run the ads, you'll get the exact same results. That's not what I'm saying. You might get better results. You might get no results at all. It depends on a wide variety of things like your product selection, whatever. Okay, so another thing is, this is not get rich quick, because a lot of people, they buy webinars like this, and I try my best to not sell webinars to people like that, but they always assume that, hey, if I'm going to get the webinar, overnight there's this button that I can push and make like $1 million or whatever. That's not how it works. Now, although I have to tell you that if you master the art of Facebook ads for e-commerce, you'll be able to make money on demand, right? Like you'll be like you could do what we're doing, which is to like go up to anyone and tell them, hey, you know what? Let us handle your ads for you. We hate the fulfillment side of things. You handle that. We'll handle this. We'll make you money. Okay, and this is perfect, right? It's a perfect thing, because Facebook ads is going to be that's the thing that most people face a problem with, So yeah. Once you have sort of learn the concepts and go out there and put it into action, you're going to be able to crush it. Okay, don't just learn, execute. Another reason why I actually started shooting webinars is also because it forces you to execute the strategies. There's no excuses, right? If it's a 19-hour course, you're going to go on for 19 hours and make excuses about how something, like you got to go through the course before you start implementing whatever. This is 2 hours, dude, or maybe 1 hour. Go through it, get to work. Okay, and that's the way it's supposed to be done. Contents of today's webinars, and I'm going to be using a few colors here for the slides because I wanted to be creative, and I don't know if that worked out very well, but let's see. Contents of today's webinars. Number one, why use Facebook ads? Number two, the Facebook intent guide. This is going to be fun, by the way, guys, because I took a ton of information and I crunched it, I compressed it, and now I'm giving it to you in a very actionable format. The Facebook compliance system. Okay. Number four, the Facebook advertising structure. Number five, the 3 phases of Facebook advertising. The CBO edition. So originally, one of the most important things that I think was included in the first webinar was the 3 phases. You know what I mean? That's what helped people get to work, because a lot of people were confused. They were like, where do I get started? What do I do? What's the first step? Whatever. When I introduced the 3 phases of Facebook advertising, people were like, okay, well, you know what? This is a great plan for me to follow. Okay. It's like test, optimize, and scale. And we have, like, even on this webinar, I'm going to be showing you guys the 3 phases of Facebook advertising, but this is going to be the CBO edition. Okay. It's not going to be the ad set edition that we used to have. It's going to be the CBO edition. So that's even better. Walkthrough of a 6-figure campaign. I'm going to be showing you the ads. I'm going to be showing you the video we used. I'm going to be showing you the interests we went after to get sales. I'm going to give you the whole deal so you can look at it. And also I'll be showing you a few concepts like the sniper targeting concept and like other concepts like that I want to really help you. Another thing we're going to be talking about is angles and understanding angles and how to use them in your marketing to get sales on demand. So this is another fun concept that you're going to be learning, guys. You're going like the whole webinar is going to be like this full info packed webinar. It's going to have everything in it. Okay. By the way, on the side note, the previous webinar that we ran, it had several pitches in it. So like we had a full pitch to back then I believe we sold the mastermind program. So we had a pitch to that. This one, luckily, we don't even have that. This is pure content, no pitch, because why even have a pitch, right? So the next thing you're going to learn is how to create amazing creatives. Because I'm going to be showing you guys how to, like, the videos and stuff that we used. I'm going to show you guys also how to create these videos, these images for your Facebook ads. Okay. And another thing we're going to show you is how to write ad copy that converts. It's going to be perfect. All right. So this is going to be a fun webinar, guys, and I'm going to be walking you through all of these concepts. So yeah, again, keep your phone off. Okay. Because if it's distracting you, you don't want to be distracted for even 1 minute during the webinar, because there's just a lot of information in it. Okay. It's not like other webinars where people tell you their stories and whatever, blah, blah, blah. This is like straight into info. Okay. With that said, let's get to the first concept, which is why use Facebook ads. So let's first talk about why you need to use Facebook ads for your e-commerce. Why use Facebook ads? So Facebook has over 1 billion monthly active users. Okay. Here's a few features of Facebook. Okay. Viral outreach. 4.7 pieces of content are being shared on a daily basis. Okay. 4.7 million pieces of content, actually. Or billion, I don't know. I forgot the number. Definitely not 4.7 pieces, though. That's a typo. Easy to use, even for beginners. Even like you can get started with Facebook ads and run your first ad in the next, I think, 15 minutes. It's that easy. Real time. Start, change, and stop ads at any point. This is a very important feature. Okay. Because with other traffic sources, you can't necessarily do that. Like I have some experience. Actually, I have great experience with media buying, like banner advertising and stuff like that. If you go the whole network media buying route, you cannot start and stop ads whenever you want. You got to intimate the guy. Okay, so if you're gonna start, like some people have like 24-hour intimation periods, so you got to run the ad for like. You got to let him know 24 hours before you want him to take down the ad. Okay. And you got to pay for the 24 hours. So Facebook's not like that, right? You can start your ad whenever you want. You can change it whenever you want. You can stop it whenever you want. It's not like media buying where you have to send in special notices and stuff like that. Okay. Laser targeted. Lots of targeting options. You can literally target anyone. Like like you can target astronauts on Facebook. Okay, like like the the amount of options that you have when it comes to targeting is unlimited on Facebook. Okay, easily scalable. When you have an ad that's working well, you can very easily scale it to the next level when you're using Facebook ads. And that's another amazing feature with Facebook. Okay, super profitable. If you do it right, Facebook can be mega profitable, because you could get purchases for as less as $5 a purchase or $7 a purchase, which is amazing, right? Now let's talk about the Facebook intent guide. Okay, see, this is the number one reason why most people fail with Facebook ads. Okay, and the reason is because they treat Facebook like a sales platform when it comes to ads. Okay, it's not. Google can be a sales platform, but Facebook's not. Facebook's an entertainment platform. Let me explain user intent quickly. So, user intent is nothing but understanding the intent and the motive of the people that are going to see your ad, basically. Okay, so when you are advertising on certain traffic sources, user intent is nothing but understanding the intent and the motive of the person that's actually looking at the ad. Okay, so you see, people aren't on Facebook to buy stuff. When was the last time you picked up your phone and you were like, let me go to Facebook and buy something? Let me go to Facebook and register for this free webinar somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, you don't do that. Like, you get on Facebook because you're bored. You're looking for some entertainment. You're looking to connect with your friends and family. You're trying to see what everyone's up to. Or you're busy sharing memes like me, right? And like, that's why you get on Facebook. You don't get on Facebook to like, okay, hey, you know what? I got to go buy this. Oh, let me go buy something. With the marketplace, sure. Some people get on marketplace just to buy stuff. But apart from the marketplace, the main news feed, you don't get on your news feed to buy anything, right? Only about 2% of the people are on Facebook to buy something, right? So, when you understand the user intent of a traffic source, right, you'll be able to build a system that matches the expectations of the audience and sell them products with a resistance. Let me give you an example. Now that we know what the user intent of Facebook is, entertainment, the user buying intent is low, because like, user buying intent is how likely is a person going to buy on this traffic source. Not how likely is a person going to buy, but how likely is a person going to want to buy something from the place. Okay, and that's low for Facebook, because people are there to be entertained, not to buy stuff. We can now proceed to run ads that actually entertain people, generate positive interest, and then sell them, instead of selling them right off the bat. And in the end, I'll show you a few examples of how we did that with e-com products. Compared to just a pure sales page describing the benefits and features, like if you were running a Google ad. Okay, with Google, it's easier, because look, for example, if someone searches the best shoe store in New York, that person's looking to buy a shoe, right? When was the last time you went to Facebook and you were like, oh, I want to buy a shoe? You never do that. But with Google, you're going to go into Google and be like, okay, well, you know what? Which is the best t-shirt brand in the world? Where do I buy Louis Vuitton sneakers? Whatever, right? You're looking to buy something. And like, when you advertise on Google, a lot of times you're going to go for high buying intent keywords, okay? And you're going to get a higher interaction, like you can directly sell them, right? Unless you're going after very broad keywords, the user buying intent is pretty high. So here's how easy the customer's journey is to sell a shoe via Google. Let me get my pointer here. So all you need to do is, like, when someone's on Google and typing best shoe store in, let's say, New York, right? You got to get their attention. So it's like, you got to put your ad on the top. You got to engage in what is called as a bidding war, because I'm pretty sure that keyword is pretty expensive, I'm sure. So you got to engage in a bidding war, and somehow you get to the top. You have a great ad. You get their attention, right? Now, all you got to do is tell him the features and benefits of your shoe, and then sell him something, because he's there to buy a shoe, right? He's looking to buy a shoe. There is a need. All you have to do is get him to click on your shoe store and buy from you, not from the competitors. There's a difference. You know what I mean? But But the same with Facebook is different, because people are not on Facebook to buy a shoe. Even if he does want a shoe, you don't know that yet. So number one, you got to get their attention, right? So even if a person wants to buy a shoe, he isn't searching for it. You know what I mean? And he doesn't expect to buy a shoe from Facebook, through Facebook. Okay, so first you got to get their attention. So it's like, hey, whatever, right? And then you have an additional step here. You got to convince them why they need to buy a shoe. And then on the third step, you need to convince them why they need to buy your shoe by giving them the features and benefits of your shoe. And then you hit them with a call to action. So there's that additional part, right? You entertain them, you tell them why they need a shoe. Or you could do a lot of selling. Basically, it's like, we have this new trendy shoe, the shoe lights up when you're walking, something like that, some weird shit. Like weird stuff always sells, guys. Trendy products always sell, from what we've experienced and what we've tested and stuff like that. So it's like, we have this nice pair of shoes, Another thing that's really powerful is packaging, okay? So you might have a normal shoe, no one cares. But if you package it like it's a very premium shoe, people are going to buy it. And I'll show you an example of that in the end, but people are going to buy it. So if you take a normal shoe and you tell something like, you give your company a name like the King's Shoes or something like that, and then like you make it look so exquisite, like you put it in the right packaging, whatever, and then you advertise that, you get their attention, and you're like, every king wears a shoe, you must buy one too, or something like that. Now we're getting their attention. Now we're convincing them why they need to buy a shoe. And then you'll convince them why to buy the shoe from you, and you sell them stuff. Okay, so the process is slightly different when you compare it with Google. Now, since you know this process, okay, now we'll start to operate your marketing differently. Okay, that's one of the things, guys, with coaching consulting programs. One of the things that people do wrong a lot of times is they'll be like, buy my product, buy my product, buy my product, buy my product. You got to lead with value. Right? With Google, you don't necessarily lead with value. You can straight up send them to a webinar. User intent. Here's a few key things to use when it comes to Facebook ads. Okay. Great music for your video ads. Because a lot of times when people are watching video ads, they're scrolling through, right? And the first thing a person does when he comes across a video is he listens to the music. It's natural, right? Like he listens to what's the sound, and then he looks at the thing. Like there's a few milliseconds gap there. Have great music, start out with great music, the person will stay. Okay, that's one of the secrets with Facebook ads, is to use great music. Okay, and the person's gonna stay. Animations work really well because they're creative, they're entertaining. Someone watching animations is not going to be bored. Okay, so he's going to have fun. He's going to watch the rest of the video. Flashy. Okay, look, someone like they're scrolling through they're scrolling through their videos, guys. Like they're like, video 1, whatever. Video 2, whatever. Video 3. You gotta get their attention, right? Get flashy. If you're using pictures too, like. Increase the contrast, right? Make it pop, make the image pop, like give it the pop effect. The next thing you gotta do is you gotta promote viral products. And I can't stress the importance of this enough. A lot of people don't promote products that look cool enough for someone on Facebook to buy, right? So for example, if you're trying to sell this normal shirt, like a shirt that they could go down the store and buy, it's probably not going to convert as well. Okay, you got to sell some product that looks good, that has this trendy effect to it, and has the potential to go viral. Not just has the potential to go viral, but it's actually something that people are going to buy, right? So like in the product webinar, the product selection webinar, I spoke about this, and it's called the product buyability and the product viralability effect. Okay, so you got to have a product that people are going to buy and people might share on their Facebook timelines. So you got to have both of them. If the product is just a viral product, it's probably a joke. Usually like these products, they're insane. Like no one's going to buy them Like these are like stupid products, you know what I mean? Like they're jokes. Okay, they're trollish jokes. So if you have a product like that, then just don't promote it. But if a product's good, it has the potential to go viral, it looks cool, and someone is actually trying to buy it or someone wants to buy it, that's perfect. Okay, that's like a viral product with a buying effect. Okay, that's exactly what you call it, not buyability, but viral product with a buying effect. Promote that. Okay, products that have a passionate audience, and this is one of the reasons why you need to stick in a niche store or like in a niche and dominate it, because products with a passionate audience are great. Okay, um, so like if you're in the gaming niche and you're selling products related to gaming, then your products already have that sort of audience, right? You're just testing the product at this point, not the audience. You're not trying to see if there is an audience for this. You already know there's an audience for it. So now we're trying to test and see if the audience is going to buy the product. It's much easier compared to you selling this normal shirt and going out there trying to find your audience, whatever. You know what I mean? Another thing is attention getting images. Same thing as the flashy thing, guys. Make it pop. Make it pop, make it get some attention. Okay. However, though, be careful, because a lot of people, when I tell them this, they tend to go break the rules. Okay, like they'll get like before after pictures, whatever nonsense that they use. Don't do any of that stuff. Like follow the rules. Just add that little extra thing to make it pop. How do you do that? A bunch of ways. I'll get into it later, but a few ways are making people in the videos smile, looking directly at the camera, great music, lots of energy in the videos, whatever, you know what I mean? So yeah, another thing is to make it really bright, which is increase the contrast a little. Same with pictures too, increase the contrast a little. Use black and white images sometimes here and there. Use like another thing that I've seen Sam Ovens doing. Honestly, it's like I've not tested this guy, so I have no idea. But Sam Ovens would use like these normal, cool family pictures, right? I mean, I think he's the guy that sort of started it, and like now a lot of people use it. He would use these family-oriented pictures where he's having dinner with his family or he's with his girlfriend doing something. And these pictures work because people are like, well, who is this guy? Again, he's cracking into the user intent, right? So people on Facebook, they're not there to buy. They're there to like look at family members or whatever. So when they see this picture of this dude with the family, they're like, do I know someone here? And then they realize that it's an ad. They're like, oh crap, this is an ad. I got sucked in. But by now they're already sucked in. So he's done a good job of getting their attention. As far as e-com goes, I've never used it. But if you're like a coach consultant, you should maybe play around with it. Emotionally reactive creatives. Like you got to get people to feel some emotion, right? Fear, love, sad, whatever. Fear, generally, I wouldn't recommend it unless you're a pro at causing it, because a lot of times you'll get banned, okay? But make them feel something, guys. Like a sad video, make people laugh with like a happy video. Do whatever, get an emotional reaction from them. That's all you're looking for. If a person's indifferent, he's not going to buy from you. If a person's not interested, that's an emotional reaction. You know what I mean? So he might buy from you. If a person's interested, he might buy from you too. So your idea is to get this person out of this indifferent zone, to get him to feel something, laughter, sadness, anger, whatever. Because if you can cause that, you can now control that emotion and you can play it the way you want to play it, as evil as that sounds. It's true. Yeah, so your job is to get that emotional reaction. Okay, stories. Stories serve two purposes. Stories serve the purpose of getting emotionally reactive, emotional reactions. Okay, they do that. And another thing stories do is they give you the viral effect. If a story is really good, like watch the kind of viral effect it gets. Like I remember when I got started in this industry, there was this one guy that I was learning from, and he had a video with the title of Facts Tell, Stories Sell. So like if you want to sell people, you tell them stories. If you want to just tell people stuff and not cause any actions on their end, tell them stuff. Okay, but if you really want to change something, give them stories. So stories are amazing, guys. Like always be ready to use stories. Now let's talk about the Facebook compliance system. Guys, I'm not going to go and ask you to go read, like I'm not going to read the Facebook compliance, whatever right now. I'm going to give you the system that they operate on so you have a deeper understanding. Now, if you want to go deeper into what I'm talking about here, there's this other concept called the enforcement system. Okay, it's called the Facebook, like I call it the Facebook enforcement system, where I talk to you about how they ban accounts, what causes it, and stuff like that. If you want to watch that, you got to go watch the dark Facebook ad strategies, because a lot of these things are actually taken from that module that I shot, because I felt it was necessary to give you these things too, before I get into the whole topic of how to run ads and 3 phases and whatever. I figured that I got to lay some of the foundation, but if you want deeper information on these concepts, you need to go watch the Dark Arts of Facebook Ads training that I'll upload for you in the group, okay? So here's the Facebook's reverse pyramid. There's user experience on the top, okay? There's generating revenue in the middle, and there's making advertisers money. So here's the thing, right? Facebook, the one thing it cares about more than anything else is user experience. Okay, they do not want to be another MySpace that goes obsolete. They do not want to be one of those, like there's this other social media, I think it's called Orkut or something like that. MySpace, you have Orkut, you have a bunch of social medias that they don't even exist anymore. I don't even think Google Plus exists anymore. I think they've removed that. So there's all these social media stuff, right, that have gone extinct because they focused too much on advertising rather than user experience. Facebook doesn't want to be that. Okay, so they value user experience over anything else. It doesn't matter how many millions of dollars you've spent on Facebook. If your ad is causing a huge uproar of negative reaction, they will get rid of your account. Okay, like they will not even think twice about it. Okay, so you may sit there and complain everything about, oh, I gave you so much money, I spent so much money with Facebook, they still banned my account. Yes, they will, and they did what they had to do because they value user experience more than generating revenue. Okay, and after that, they value generating revenue. So a lot of that, this is another reason why you should not really listen to Facebook reps. Okay, like you're going to have Facebook reps, they're going to give you trash advice. Okay, unless it's a technical advice where they have a very logical reason as to why you should listen to them, you shouldn't really listen to these guys. They're not the best Facebook ads guys, they're just salespeople. Okay, they're selling you on running more advertising. They're selling you on whatever. However, I'll tell you this, once you start spending enough money, either as an agency partner or as an individual, once you start spending lots and lots of money, they'll start giving you better and better reps where they'll start inviting you to go to their place or whatever. That's when you start getting real advice from them. Okay, but if you're just getting started and like you have this Facebook rep that jumps on a call with you and tells you, hey, do this, do that, you should not listen to him. Okay, he doesn't know what he's talking about. He's just a salesperson. Okay, another thing is, guys, look, Facebook has the compliance department and then it has the advertising department, which is, helping advertisers, selling stuff, whatever. They both work differently. Okay. They do understand each other's game, but there's two different departments. Like the compliance is not the same. Like the same person that's on a call with you telling you what to do is not the person behind the compliance part of the system. You know what I mean? So that's something that you need to keep in mind, because it's not a situation where everything that, you run through the rep, like, okay, because some people are like, oh, I have a rep, I can do anything, like I'll never be banned, I'm invincible. That's not the case. If you run a stupid ad, you will get banned because your rep is not the guy that's banning you. There's a whole department for it called the compliance department, and they do that. Okay? So that's their system. And now, the last of their goals is to make advertisers money. Okay, the first is user experience, second, generating revenue, and third is making advertisers money. So now we got to know your place in this ecosystem and behave accordingly. Okay, so don't run any ads that could get a huge negative reaction. It doesn't matter how old your account is, it doesn't matter how much money you've spent, don't spoil their user experience, okay, and you're good. So the point to remember is Facebook cares more about its users than it does about itself, and more about increasing its profits than making advertisers money. Okay, it's as simple as that. So if you're running any ads that positively affect user experience, that make people happy, people love it, there's huge amounts of engagement on it, Facebook will reward you with more sales, more clicks, cheaper clicks and cheaper sales, you know. But if you're running ads that negatively affect user experience, where even if you're scamming people, for example, you're doing drop shipping and people don't get the products for 8 weeks, now they have a quality score. They put you on the low quality score. They'll survey your customers. If your customers say they haven't received the product yet, your account's gonna get hit. Okay. If you're using any negative keywords, which I'll upload in the group later, your account is gonna take the hit. So if you're causing a negative user experience in any way, Facebook will punish you for it. Cause a positive effect, Facebook will reward you. That's how simple it is. Okay. So how does Facebook make sure that the advertisers don't negatively affect user experience? It has a set of rules and regulations. You can read them at eliteecomgroup.com/Facebook. You can basically read all the rules and regulations there and follow them. If you want to know more about the enforcement system, go watch my Dark Arts of Facebook Ads module, and that's going to go deeper into that, okay? And other stuff like the algorithm and whatever. So now you have the Facebook advertising structure, okay? The slide color has changed. From here on, it'll be white. Here's the advertising structure of Facebook, okay? On the top, you have the campaign level, and then you have the ad sets levels, you have the ad set levels, and then you have the ads, okay? So this is how the pyramid looks. You have one campaign out of which there's two different ad sets here, and then you have the ads 1.2, 1.1, 1.2, 2.1, 2.2. So on campaign level, you set the objective and budget when you're using CBO, okay? On the ad set level, you set the targeting, the placements, the schedule, and the budget if you're using ad set budget optimization, which I know some of you guys are still using. It's going to be obsolete. It's going to go away in like September for some people, December for some people, January for everyone. Okay, so soon you will not be able to set any budget on the ad set level, but you only have to set that budget on the campaign level. But for now, you can set it on the ad set level. So, you know, if you're going to set your targeting, your placements and stuff like that, that's going to be on the ad set level. On the campaign level is going to be the budget, you know, the objectives, you know, stuff like that. Ad level. On this level, this is the ads really. So the ad copy, the videos that you plan on using, the creatives, whatever. So now let's talk about the different Facebook marketing objectives. Okay, so here's a few Facebook objectives. You have the brand awareness, reach, traffic, engagement, app installs, video views, lead generation, messages, conversions, catalog sales, store visits. So, you know, they're basically split into three categories here. First, you have the engagement campaigns. Okay, so this is usually what, like we usually use this to run product testing protocol, artificial social proof advertising. So engagement ads are, you know, their objective is to boost the engagement of an ad. So it's to get more views, get more comments, get more likes. You know, their goal is not to get you sales. So engagement ads are not going to get you a ton of sales, but they'll get you a lot of engagement. So your ad looks full of social proof. Okay, and you can make this happen. I'll show you guys a strategy on how to do this. Conversions, this objective is the most important one. This is the one that will help you generate visits, add to carts, purchases, whatever. So you pay for conversion. You still pay for impression, but you're optimizing it for conversions. So your Facebook is going to go find people that are most likely to buy your product. If you optimize it for purchases, if you optimize it for add to carts, Facebook is going to go out there and find people that are most likely going to add your product to cart. How does Facebook do that? Well, when someone adds something to the cart, or a few people add something to the cart, it takes them and it tries to find other similar people like them. So it goes in and sees what pages they liked and stuff like that. I don't know the algorithm on that much of a deep level. So, that's just how it works. I just know how to make money from it. Catalog sales, DPA ads. So if someone gets on your page, adds like 3 products to cart and forgets to buy, you can run an ad to him specifically telling him that he forgot to buy these 3 products, and now he can complete the purchase by clicking on the link and finishing by adding his payment details and finishing the purchase. Link clicks, very rarely used, honestly, because this is like link clicks honestly will give you the cheapest form of traffic. Like, it's not great traffic. Like, we've tried it. Like, engagement is far better than link clicks, but sometimes you can use it for scaling. Okay, so that's a cool part. Brand awareness. Brand awareness is something you're going to be using to scale. That falls under the category of a reach campaign or an awareness campaign, and it's cool. It's cool when you're trying to scale, especially, and you have a funnel that's working, you have the creatives that are working really well, you have the audience that's working really well with. When you use brand awareness ads, you get to drop your numbers, right? So like you're generally, when you're paying per purchase, you end up paying a lot more money, and you don't reach the whole audience, right? You reach a very small part of the audience. But when you're paying, like when you're running with a brand awareness, you're reaching a bigger part of the audience. Okay, so yeah. For example, let me give you a quick example before we go to the next topic. So let's say your targeting is like 100 people. Okay, if you're running a conversions ad or if you're running an engagement ad, your ad is not going to be shown to all the 100 people. It's going to be shown to like a very small number of people. So if you're running a purchase ad, it's only going to be shown to people that might buy your product, which is going to be like 5 or 10 people, maybe 20 people. If you're running an engagement ad, your ad is only going to be shown to people that are most likely to engage on your ad. So that's only going to be like 20, 30, maybe even 40 people. But when you're running a brand awareness ad, the numbers are generally higher. You get to show it to like 80, 90 of the people, probably even 100. So that's one reason why scaling is very easy with brand awareness. But you got to get the system down. So if you don't have that down, you're not going to get anything. So yeah. So the next topic is, what is a Facebook pixel? Okay, so here's what a Facebook pixel is. The Facebook pixel is really this line of code that you add on to your store that allows Facebook's algorithm to track the number of visitors, sales, etc., and also learn who is responding to your ads. Okay, so let's say person A visits your store today. Facebook now recognizes the person that clicked on your store and maybe even bought something. This data can then be used to run retargeting ads to the person or even to build lookalike audiences. Okay, here's a few uses of the Facebook pixel tracking your ad campaigns. One of the most important things when it comes to advertising, guys, is tracking. Okay, you need to know where your sales are coming from, what interest your sales are coming from, what ad is working, what ad is not working. This gives you a great degree of control, right? Because then you know what audiences are converting, what ad creative is working, and then you can spend more money on it and stop spending the money on audiences that don't work, on ads that don't work. You know what I mean? So you need to be able to track everything perfectly to gain a lot of control. Facebook pixel allows you to do that. It's not like the 100% perfect thing, but it's still really good. Okay, this information is very valuable because it reveals to you what ad is working and what isn't. I've already covered that. I'm just reading from the text here real quick just to make sure I didn't miss anything. Using this information, you can scale the ads that are working and kill the ads that are not, and overall helps you stay more in control of your advertising and business. Okay. Second use of a Facebook pixel: build custom seed audiences and remarket. Now, with the power of a Facebook pixel, you're going to be able to create custom audiences of people that performed certain actions and then remarket to them specifically. Okay, it's really powerful. So you can build a custom audience of people that, let's say, visited a certain website. Okay, so you have a website, you ran an ad, 100 people visited your site. you can now target these people and run an ad specifically to them. Okay, so let's say someone went onto your store, he added something to a cart, but he forgot to buy. Now you can take an ad and run it specifically to that guy, saying, hey, you forgot to buy these products, come back and buy now by clicking this one button. Okay, and that's how powerful a Facebook pixel is. Here's a few more uses. You can use Facebook's advanced optimization features. If you want to use any optimization tactics like conversions optimization or well, technically conversions optimization or retargeting options, you need to use a Facebook pixel. Okay, if not, you can't do it. So using a pixel, Facebook can study the people that are taking specific actions on your site and then find more people that are most likely to perform the same action. So for example, if 10 people buy a product from your store, Facebook can go out there and find you 10 other people that are most likely to take the same action, which is buy something. Okay, if that's what you optimize it for. Okay, create lookalike audiences. When Facebook's algorithm has enough conversions, you can build a lookalike audience. Okay, Facebook technically goes out there and finds people that have similar interests and behaviors as that of your current customers, leads, or prospects and shows them your ads. It's very powerful. And you can do it with the use of a Facebook pixel. There's another way to build lookalikes, which is by uploading data. So you can upload emails of your customers or whatever and do it. But the most common and the most simple way of doing it is by using a Facebook pixel. Okay, so now that's already covered. So now the next topic is the 3 phases of Facebook advertising. Okay, and this is the CBO edition. Yeah, this is going to be fun. So there's 3 phases of Facebook advertising, right? There's the testing phase, there's the optimization phase, and then there's the scaling phase. So here's how it works. Testing. This is the first phase of Facebook advertising. This is where you test products, angles, creatives. Okay. So the whole idea behind the 3 phases is I've taken the complicated Facebook advertising game and I've broken it down into 3 simple steps. Okay. 3 simple phases, sorry, not steps. So you can very accurately understand what phase you're in with a certain thing and take actions that push you to the next level. So the first phase of Facebook advertising is where you test the products and you test angles, you test creatives. Essentially, if you're launching a new ad campaign, you're in the testing phase. Okay. Here's the deal with testing. The more you test, the more likely you're going to find a winner. Okay. Be as data centric as possible. Pull emotions out of the picture while you're testing. You don't want any emotions, right? So you won't, like, if you're going to go out there and say, hey, this is a good product, like I know it's a great product, like I'm going to run a ton of ads to it, whatever. And if the market isn't buying it, if the market says that this isn't a great product, you should probably listen to your market, not your emotions. Okay. The goal of this phase is to launch as many campaigns as possible to see what sticks. So you're just throwing a ton of stuff at the wall to see what sticks. Okay. That's the whole point of the testing phase. So here's a testing formula, CBO Edition. Okay, so this is called individualized testing, where basically you take 4 products. Okay, you take 5 different audiences and you group them with 1 ad set per audience. Okay, so you don't put all the audiences in 1 ad set, you put them individually. That's why I call it the individualized testing. So 1 audience per ad set, 4 different products, 2 ads for each ad set, $100 per campaign. Okay, and you're approximately going to be spending around $400 a day. So that's how the testing process is. You know what I mean? That's like, this is the formula. So if you have products or whatever, and if you're trying to grow your business, right, with Facebook ads, this is what you need to do. 4 products, 5 different audiences each. Okay, you can mix them up. You can use lookalike audiences if you have them. If you don't have them, you can use like normal interests, whatever. Okay, 5 different audiences, 4 products, 2 ads for each ad set, $100 per campaign on the campaign level. So you're going to be spending $100 per product during the testing phase. And this is going to run for 72 hours, by the way. So total ad spend is going to be about $1,200. So that's That's it. Like that's how simple it is. Now, if your budget is lower, right? If you don't have $1,200 to spend, as a matter of fact, if you have more money to spend, it's better because you can just put it at $200 per campaign per day, and that's going to work really well. But if you don't have that kind of money, what I recommend you do is bring down the number of products to 2, bring down the number of audiences to 3, and bring down the amount of money you're spending to like $50 a campaign or something like that. Another thing you could do is you could maybe test $25 per campaign too. So that's gonna be about 4 products, or you can just keep the products same. You can just keep the products same. Bring down the number of audiences to 2. Okay, like instead of 5, bring down the number of audiences to maybe, let's say, 2 or 3 audiences, and bring down the budget to $25 to $50, and that should work. Instead of testing 2 different creatives, test 1. Okay, anyway guys, if you have the kind of budget, it's much better you run it this way. If you have $200 a day and like you are very confident about the products, like test 2 products, 5 different audiences, 2 ads for each ad set, test it. You know what I mean? If you have more money, then you can test $200 per day per campaign, and that's gonna be better. Obviously you're gonna get better results. If you're going with $200 per campaign, I would increase the number of audiences to, let's say, 7 audiences instead of 5, because that's something you want to test a lot when it comes to CBO. With ad set budget optimization, the rules used to be a bit different. With this, you need to test your audiences a lot. Okay, you need a ton of audiences to really scale to the next level. Okay, so yeah, here's how we'll be referring to these products. Are going to be called the P, audience A, ad angle AA, creative C, and this is how it works. Okay, and this is like a very complicated graph. Don't let it scare you. Okay, and that's why I used this weird ass font, because I wanted to keep it a bit funny. Okay, so I used that. And so these are 4 products, right? Now I couldn't put 5 audiences in here, so I put 3 because the page is already full. So product number 1, ad number 1, ad angle number 1, creative number 1. Okay, product number 1, ad angle number 2, product number 1, audience number 2, ad angle number 1, creative. So a lot of times you're going to be using the same ad angles for all of these products. All you're going to be doing is changing a few words in it. So for example, if you're, let's say you're selling this mug, right, and you're selling 4 different types of mugs, the ad angle for all these mugs is going to be pretty much similar. Okay, it is going to change a few things in it. However, if you're going to sell 2 products that are completely different from each other, then you need a separate ad angle. Okay, as far as ad angles and creatives go, the creatives are going to be the same for every ad angle for the most part, but there's going to be a slight variation in the words that you use. So for example, if you go after, let's say people that love fishing, and your ad says, if you love fishing, buy this, that's cool, right? But if you're going to use the same angle, and if you're going to use the same creative to, let's say, someone that loves hunting, it's not going to make much sense. So you got to change that word fishing into hunting, right? So apart from these slight variations, the creative is going to be pretty much the same for every angle. Okay, and even the angle is going to be very similar if the products are the same. If the products are not the same, then you need to change the angle. But yeah, hopefully this makes sense. Testing tips: do not touch the ads for 72 hours. Okay, that's the tip number 1. You need to wait until your ad gets to a certain point where it's matured. Okay, like you don't want to cut an ad prematurely. Okay, a lot of people are extremely impatient. They're like, oh, like I ran this ad for 12 hours, no sales, I'll cut it, I'm already spending money. No, like don't do that. Okay, like let it run for 72 hours before cutting it. Now if you do want to save money like that a lot, here's a system that you can use. It's an alternative system. So after 24 hours, if your ad doesn't have any view contents, cut the ad. Okay, I don't have the slides for it because it's just something that we do sometimes. when the budget's low, we try this. So after 24 hours, if you have zero view contents, or in the first 24 hours, if you have zero view contents, cut the ad. Okay. In the next 24 hours, which is within 48 hours, if you don't have any add to carts, delete the ad. Okay. And within the first 3 days, which is 72 hours, if you don't have any sales, you can delete the ad. We'll get to that in the optimization part, but that's one thing, okay, that you can do if you don't want to keep the ads running for 72 hours. However, I recommend you do that. It's just better. Like the ad's going to get a lot more data, and it's going to be cooler and easier for you to get more accurate information. Whenever you get an opportunity, test more products. Like don't shy away from testing products in the beginning, especially because you want to get those few front-end products that really work, right? Like for us, for example, we made 146K with one single product, but like we had to go in and test a bunch of different stuff until we got to that one product. Like we had to test multiple variations of the product, and even when we were running this product, like we were testing other products on the side. So don't shy away from testing products until you find that one product that's really converting well. Then you can focus a lot of your attention on it while building the back-end processes or whatnot. Run PPE ads to get feedbacks on designs and products before running testing ads. Just take an ad and run PPE traffic to it to get some feedback on the product. If people like the product, they'll like it, they'll comment on it, they'll tag their people on it, and like that's how you know that a product's good. If people don't do that, then the product's not something that really appeals to that audience. Okay, so you don't have to run testing ads to that audience. So yeah, that's another thing that you should do. Start off with website conversion purchase ads. A lot of people suggest you start with view content or add to cart or whatever. I don't recommend that, guys. Start out directly with purchase ads. You don't need to mess around with any of the other options. Start out with a conversion ad, and it needs to be a purchase ad. That's the best one. Okay. Preferred audience size for testing is 1.5 million plus. Now, later on in the module, I'll show you something called as a sniper targeting. That works, but the easiest to scale, the coolest is 1.5 million plus. Okay. That's the easiest to scale. That's where you get the most data. But if you're trying to really test a product, like you could go lower. So you could go as less as 500,000 people, 500,000 audience size, if you're only testing products. So yeah. Don't do any deep targeting or placement targeting on this level. You don't want to go very deep, guys. So like as far as placement goes, honestly, for the testing phase, like only use newsfeed, like newsfeed and Instagram if you want. If you don't want to use Instagram, you don't have to. Just use newsfeed. Like focus on that one thing, get good at it, and then move to different placements and platforms, right? Start the campaigns between 12 to 3 a.m. That's when Facebook generally starts planning out the optimization for the next day. So it's highly recommended that you start the campaigns between 12 to 3 a.m. It's just the best thing to do. Now, since the first phase is complete, let's move to the next phase, which is optimization. So optimization is this process where you identify what's winning and what's losing, and improving the overall ROAS, which is called as the return on ad spend. You go deeper into the campaigns, see what ad sets are performing really well, and also observe what ad sets and ads are killing your ROAS and cut them. That's as simple as it is. The goal of the optimization process is really to boost your campaign ROAS and get your campaigns ready to be scaled. Okay, so go deep into your campaigns after the 72-hour test period. Just see what ads are working and what ads are not. Okay, so here's my ideal optimization process. This has not really changed since last December, honestly. I mean, it's still the same process. If an ad set has 0 sales after 72 hours, If a whole campaign has 0 sales after the 72 hours, kill the whole campaign. You don't even need it. Okay, get into the ad set level. No, if the campaign has sales, but there's few ad sets with 0 sales, then start killing the ad sets. Okay, if a campaign has like 5 sales or above, but there's certain ad sets that don't have sales, kill those ad sets, and then go get into the ad sets too and see if there's any ads that have 0 sales after 72 hours and kill them. Okay, if an ad set has 0 sales but a ton of add to carts, bump the ad set budget up by 25. In this case, if a campaign has a ton of add to carts but doesn't have any sales, get into it. See what ad sets are performing the best in terms of getting you the add to cards. Keep them. The rest of them, cancel them. Pause them. Okay, pause the rest of the ad sets. The one ad set that's getting 1 or 2 ad sets that are getting you the add to cards, let them go. Increase the budget of the campaign. Let it go for another 24 hours. If it still doesn't generate any sales, then kill it. You don't need that campaign at all. Okay. Does that, hopefully that makes sense to you. If you're running on the ad set level, this is pretty much the same system, guys. If you're running on the ad set level, ad set has 0 sales, kill it. Ad set has 5 sales or about, get into the ad level, see what ads are sort of dragging it down, and then kill those ads. If an ad set has 0 sales, tons of add to cart, bump it up by 25 and see how it goes. With the CBO, the system's kind of different. I'm going to do a post on it later so you guys can actually follow through easily. It's the same, I just explained it to you. So let's just move on to the next slide. Here's how CBOs don't work, okay? Because everyone has this idea of how a CBO campaign is supposed to work. So they're like, hang on, let me get my pointer here. They're like, oh, if I set a campaign up, if I put the total budget as $100, all of these ads are going to get like $20 each. That's not how it works. That's how it used to work on the ad set level budget optimization. Okay? Because you used to go to every ad set and set the budget at $20. Like Facebook would try to spend that $20 on that specific ad set. Okay? To try to split it between the ads in it. With CBO, it doesn't work like that. With CBO, like if you put $100 total budget and there's 5 different ad sets, this is how the spend is going to look. So one ad is going to have the majority of the spend. There's probably going to be like a second ad with some ad spend that's more than the rest of the ads. But generally, one ad set is going to have like the majority of the ad spend. Okay, so that's going to be like the big thing. And then you're going to have a few other ad sets with different spends on them. Okay, so the way it works for CBOs is it looks for like, the Facebook algorithm finds 1 to 2 ads that are working really well and spends a large chunk of your budget on those ads instead of the rest. Okay, and again, this goes back to them trying to build out a great user experience, because sometimes they'll spend it on ads that are getting you the best results. Sometimes they'll spend the money on ads that have the highest user experience. Okay, so for example, if an ad has the highest engagement and positive feedback but doesn't necessarily have sales, sometimes Facebook might allocate a higher budget to it from what I've experienced. Okay, another thing is have a higher number of actions. So if you're optimizing for purchases, you get a ton of sales, Facebook's going to spend more money on it unless it has a negative score. Let's say you optimize for add to cards. You have this one ad set that has a ton of add to cards. Facebook's going to spend more money on it. So that's how it works, guys. Okay. You may still continue to spend a lot of money on campaigns that aren't working if your budget is high enough. And this is exactly why you need to cut out the campaigns and ad sets that aren't performing. So yeah, it's pretty much self-explanatory. Okay, so I already covered this, but here's another CBO optimization formula for you guys. If an ad set has a ROAS of -1, okay, of 1, sorry, not -1, enter into the ad level and see what ads have a ROAS of 1 and kill them once you find them. Okay, if an ad set has a ROAS of 2.5 plus, enter into the ad level and see what ads have terrible ROASs and kill them. The goal is to have like 1 to 2 ad sets that are converting pretty well per campaign. Okay, so if you have a campaign that's getting sales, your goal is to get like 1 to 2 ad sets that are converting pretty well. Also, a ton of any ads that aren't working, you don't really need them. If you're going to keep them there, Facebook's going to keep trying to spend money on them. Okay? Optimization tips. Never touch something that's working. So if you have a campaign that's working and whatever's going on, like don't add new campaign, don't add new ad sets to it. Okay? Like stop ads if necessary, stop ad sets if necessary, but don't add anything to it. Okay? Because that causes the pixel to act up in a lot of cases. Be very data centric, not emotional. So if you're going to be very emotional about campaigns, right, it's not going to work out. If you're very data centric, however, where you observe the numbers and you operate everything based on the numbers, it's going to work out really well. Remember that the goal is to cut out any losers and boost the overall ROAS of the campaigns. That's going to be your ultimate goal. Now, since the second phase is complete, let's move on to the next phase, which is scaling. Scaling is a process where you take campaigns with a good ROAS and increase the volume of sales. Okay, so your ROI may take a hit, but you'll generate a lot more sales which make up for it. I mean, ask yourself this question. Would you rather spend $50 to make $300 at a ROAS of 6 or spend $1,000 to make $3,000 at a ROAS of 3? You know, you would obviously spend $1,000 to make 3,000, right? The primary goal of scaling is to increase the number of sales and profits while maintaining a decent ROAS. Okay, and that's going to be the full goal. And here's a few scaling methods for you. I call this the micro rapid scaling method. It's called the MRS method. Now, if you watched my previous webinar, I speak about the rapid scaling system, which worked really well for a lot of people. But this is called the MRS, which is specifically for CBO campaigns. So post-optimization, okay, like after optimizing your CBO campaigns, duplicate the campaign that worked well, okay? Cut out any ad sets that didn't convert initially, and then duplicate it, and then increase the budget, not the ad budget, but the campaign budget by 20%. So if your current total campaign budget is $100 a day, increase it to $120. Okay, and then after 72 hours, if the campaign is at a ROAS of 2.5 plus, duplicate it and make the budget, increase the budget to like $150. Okay, if it continues to work, duplicate it, increase it to $200. When it stops working, like you're gonna get to that point with CBO, it's very hard, right? With the ad set level, it used to be easier to, just duplicate and duplicate and duplicate and keep going. With CBOs, I find that it's kind of hard to just duplicate and keep going. It's like the ads just die. The campaigns just die. So when a campaign is not working, so for example, if you're at the $200 per day level and it's not working at all, just turn that off and like go back to the ads that are working. Okay, like wait for 72 hours because they usually start working again. So that's really how the formula is. Like you push it as hard as you can push it. If it doesn't work, you just take a step down and keep it there. And then go test new audiences or new creatives or whatever really. Here's a few scaling tips. Have a solid ROAS before you even start scaling. Okay, because a lot of people, they'll start to scale at the wrong moment. For example, if the ROAS is like 1.5, 1 whatever, unless you're selling a higher ticket product, in which case there's usually a backend. So if you're selling consulting programs, you're not looking for a 1 ROAS because usually there's a backend that makes up for it. So you can take a hit on the front because you'll make more money on the backend. So apart from in those cases, if you're actually doing stuff, make sure you have a solid, like if you're doing drop shipping or anything like that, make sure you have a solid return on ad spend before you even start scaling. Because usually scaling is not going to improve your ROAS, it's going to decrease it. So if your ROAS is 1 now, like when you scale, your ROAS is going to be 0.5. Okay? If your ROAS is 2.5, when you scale, your ROAS is going to be 2. So ideally, you should be looking at least 3x ROAS. That's the good one. But worst case scenario, 2.5 is fine. Okay. Give it time. Another thing is to give it time. The Facebook pixel needs to get adjusted to the new budget. So when you're, duplicating the ad set, duplicating the campaign, don't expect to get sales ASAP. It's going to take a while. Okay. It's going to take a while. unless your budgets are super high, like $1 to $10,000, which is where you start using the takeover method, in which case you'll get sales fast. Like with the takeover method, you'll get sales on the first day. Like you don't you don't even need to give it as much time. I'll tell you what the takeover method is in a second here. But yeah, you'll get sales fast unless you're using that method. If you're using the MRS, you got to give it some time to get adjusted to the new budget. Okay. Another thing is to never ever kill a working ad set. Never kill a working ad set or a working campaign. Okay, so like don't kill it. People kill it. Okay, like they're like, oh, this is working, cool. Let me shut it off and duplicate it and do something. Like don't shut it off. Like let it keep running. Okay, do not scale the wrong campaigns. Again, if a campaign's broken from the get-go, it's gonna worsen up when you scale. Okay, so don't scale a campaign that's bad. Another thing is make sure your payment source is stable. This is one big problem we've had with clients, honestly. Their payment sources are not stable. And like whenever there's a payment problem, Facebook tends to like double or even triple your CPAs. It's crazy. Not your CPAs, but like your cost per purchases and stuff like that. They go up significantly. Okay, like if you guys have run ads for a period of time and like you had your payment sources decline payments on Facebook, like right? Like they'll shut off the ads, and like the moment you restart it, for about 3 days or 4 days, your numbers are gonna be high as a kite. Okay. However, what's funny is for some people their campaigns die. Like if the campaign's weak, it's just gonna die. It's never going to recover. For us, mostly the campaigns have recovered. It just takes like 3 to 4 days though. So we've had cost per purchases at $6. So like we were getting cost per purchases at $6 a purchase, and we would have a payment decline. And like, to a day later, our cost per purchase would be like $18, which is crazy. It's 3 times the average cost per purchase that we were getting. So yeah, that's another thing that you need to keep in mind. Have a stable payment source. How do you get a stable payment source? There's a lot of ways to do it. You can connect your bank to Facebook. You could get a better credit card that allows you to spend more money per day. There's a bunch of sources. There's a bunch of ways to handle the payment source. There's no one right scaling method. Like there's never like one right scaling method. It's usually what works best in that situation, right? Because like there's different products or different audiences that you're testing. There's never that one holy grail scaling method. You just got to test out a few of them and see what works and stick with it. The takeover method is a high budget CBO scaling method. Okay, you need to exercise great care when you're using this method. If you want to scale to $1 to $10,000 per day levels, you can't really dupe your way there anymore as easily. Okay, you need an aggressive boost on the budgets and test a lot of different audiences with high reaches, as much as a reach of 30 million people. With the MRS, you can go up to $500 per day, maybe more. But with the takeover, you can start at $1 to $10,000 a day. Okay. Now I'll cover this in a future module because there's a lot of complications with this method. Like I would have to teach you automated rules and setting rules, because that's another big thing with the takeover method. You're going to be spending a lot of money, so you want to make sure that you cut out any ads that are not working fast. Okay, so the way you do that is by setting these automated rules. So if, like for example, like if the CPA is like 4 times as much on the campaign level, if the average cost per purchase is 4 times as much as the cost of the product, kill the campaign, right? If it's if their ROAS is 3 plus, increase the budget by 20%. Like you can set these automated rules on Facebook, and Facebook's going to go in there every 30 minutes making that change to your campaigns, right? So this way you have it's just a different ball game, guys. It's not like normal Facebook ads. It's like Facebook ads, people are like, oh, let me just start a few Facebook ads and make money with it, which works. But when you're going over with the takeover method, like it's just a different game. Like it's intense. Okay. Lots of high budgets are involved. So unless you already have a very stable business, you don't even need this method. But I'll still teach it in like a future module anyway. You just don't need it right now. It'll confuse the shit out of you. Okay. Now, let me show you a full walkthrough of a 6-figure campaign that we ran. Okay, so here's the product that we promoted. It's like this mug of like, it's got a skull on it, whatever. It's a cool mug. Okay, and here's the results, right? So if you look over here, look at the amount of purchases that we got: 133, 68, 28, 312, 589, 776. These are just a few of the purchases. I think we've sold about 3,000 or so of the mug. Maybe 2,000. I don't remember exactly. No. We sold like three to 4,000 of these mugs. Okay, at $40. Like we would buy them at, I believe, $10 to $11, and we were selling it at $39.99. So that's a pretty big margin too. Okay, and look at the amount of purchases we got for it. And this is just like on one screenshot. There's multiple of screenshots that I could have taken, but I gotta keep scrolling, right? Which is weird. So anyway, here's the upsell that we used for it. Because one of the things with upselling that we've found out is if you're selling product number A, like if you're selling any product really, people are most likely going to buy a product that's very similar to it. Okay, so in this case, mug number 1 and mug number 2 are very similar. So that's why it was like it's an upsell that worked very well for us. I think this one converted for us at about 19% or something like that. So that's pretty okay. It's not the greatest, but it's really good. You know, that's like 19% more money than we could have made with it. So yeah. Here is the exact ad creatives that we used. Here's the ad. So it's like, do you love the Vikings? You know, if you answered yes, it's a pretty simple ad, guys, right? And here's the thing with like targeting in and zeroing in on the niche. So here we already know that there's an audience for Vikings and, you know, the Viking gods and stuff like that. So like Thor, you know, you had the Avengers movies, you know, so there's an audience for like gods like Thor or whatever, right? So we leverage that, and in here we just put, do you love the Vikings? If you answered yes, then you would also love our one-of-a-kind handcrafted Chalice of Valhalla. We gave it a name, and then we were like, buy it here. Only 87 of these available in stock. So grab one while stock lasts. Grab one now. That's how simple the ad was. And then we used a video creative. I'll show you the video in a second here. This did pretty good. I think just this ad alone made us about, I would say close to $50,000, just this one single ad. And there were a few different copies that we've tested, but for now, you know, one is gonna be fine. So here's the video. Let me see how I can play this for you. Yeah, for some reason, guys, Camtasia wouldn't record the sound. I wish it did, but this is the video that we used. Pretty simple video, and I'll show you guys how to get these creatives at the end of the webinar. Scalawalala. I don't even know if that's how we pronounce it, but you know, here's some social proof stuff, and at the end you have the deal. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And then you have some branding. That's really it, right? And here's the targeting method we use for this. So initially we used something called as a sniper targeting method because we wanted to make sure that there is an audience for, you know, this sort of a product. So our targeting was pretty simple. It is Viking age. Okay. Now I know there's people out there, they're like, oh, you gotta go so deep into the targeting, you know, they put layers and layers and layers and layers and layers. Look at this, guys. This is the simplest targeting ever. Potential reach 210,000. Okay. I don't really recommend this method as much anymore. It works if you're testing products and stuff like that, but if you have a proven product, this is just not fast enough. Like, this is slow, right? If you're doing the takeover method with something like this, you'll burn yourself. Like, you cannot really duplicate your campaigns. It's hard to scale. Okay. But it's good to like get that initial sales to test the product and to also build lookalikes and stuff like that. So, you know, yeah. The targeting was simple: 35 to 65 plus, United States, all genders, interests being Viking age. And then we excluded everyone that, our business page admins, because we didn't want anyone to steal the campaign and stuff. Also, we excluded Facebook for Business and Business Manager. So anyone that, liked the Facebook for Business page is not going to see the ad anymore, because now we don't want them to steal our stuff. Languages: English UK, English US. This one got us 52 sales at $40, not including the upsells. So I mean, it's like a few $1,000s. Just like this targeting and this video and this ad, 52 sales. This targeting got us 100 plus sales. I would say this targeting got us like 107 or 108 sales. So that's pretty decent. Okay, that's $4,000 right from this targeting. And yeah, the locations that we went after were Canada and the United States, 23 to 50. Interests were Ragnarok. Ragnarok is like this Viking, because Vikings have the Viking myth, right? The Norse myth. So Nordic countries, Mjolnir is like the hammer of Thor, Old Norse. So it's like a very niche product, right? And this one we had a potential reach of 920,000 people. This was much easier, okay, because the audience was bigger. We had 100% sales just on this targeting alone. So like right now, like you saw like the exact product that we promoted, the exact ad set that we used, and the exact targeting that we used to get to $10,000 pretty easily. Not 10,000, but like 6, 7,000, something like that. You saw the exact deal, right? This ad that I showed you, like this is an ad that made us close to $50,000, guys. Just this, okay? So like you have like all the information that you need at this point to go get stuff done. Like as a matter of fact, let me put it this way. So we took this targeting, right? And like we wanted to test selling hoodies to this targeting. And that worked out well too. We had a few sales come in for the hoodie as well when we used the same exact targeting. Okay, so like if you're gonna promote the mug, you can try it if you want. I don't know if it's still gonna convert, but you can try it if you want. Okay, if you want to promote the mug, go ahead. Use the same interest, do whatever. Now, let me tell you more about what angles are and how they work. So what is an ad angle? An angle is really somewhat of a campaign message. For example, let's take this product, right? Again, here's a few angles you can use to promote this product. Audience. So the audience we're going after are people that love the Norse myth. So angle number 1 is buy this mug if you love Norse gods. Okay, that's the love angle. If you love something, buy this. Angle number 2 is the tribe angle, which is buy this mug if you're a true Norseman. So if you're selling to gamers, buy this mug if you're a true gamer. If you're selling this to people that love hunting, buy this mug if you're a true hunter, stuff like that. It's like you make them feel as part of this tribe or community. Angle number 3, I feel like a Norseman when I drink from this mug. That's like a testimonial angle. So someone basically gives a testimonial saying, "Oh, I was drinking from this mug. I felt like a real Norseman or a Norse god, whatever." So that's angle number 3. Let's say now you go after a different audience, not the people that love the Norse myth, but people that love skulls. Okay. Angle number 1, love angle. Do you love skulls? If yes, buy this. Angle number 2. Do you want to drink coffee from the skulls of your enemies? This is called extreme relatability angle. I would exercise great caution with this because it's kind of dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. It'll get your ad account messed up. So again, this one is called an extreme relatability angle, where you take it to an extreme end, okay, to hit that certain market. So yeah, it's you're basically polarizing people, right? So you're like, the people that I want buying this product are the people that think this is cool. If you don't think it is cool, I don't want you to see the ad. Like, you know what I mean? So a lot of the people that are gonna find the whole thing cool, like Game of Thrones fans, for example, they're gonna be like, yeah, that's cool, man. Like drinking coffee from someone's skull, hell yeah. They're gonna buy a product. But the people that don't like it at all, like they'll not like it at all. Like they'll hate it. So they might even report it. So this is something you gotta exercise caution with. But yeah, it's another angle. Testimonial angle. The skull mug had me It helped me throw the best party ever. Like everyone was at this party. They were talking about how cool this mug is. Oh my God, like I had so much fun with it. That's a testimonial angle. And that's amazing. A few more angles are the PAS angle, which is the pain, agitate, and solution angle. You basically hit at their pain points in the ads. The advertorial agitates the pain and then sells them on your program or your product or whatever. Okay. Secret desire angle is you find out what the secret desire of your audience is and then hint at that on the ad. So if the secret desire of your audience is to, let's say, go to the Bahamas on a vacation, instead of talking only about, hey, here's how we can make money with the course, now we can talk about the Bahamas vacation. You're appealing to their core desires, as Frank Kern likes to call it. Controversial angle. This is the angle where you use controversy to get attention and sell stuff. Want it, buy it angle. This is the simplest angle, really. If you have a simple product, your ad should literally say, want this cool product? Go buy it here. This works best for like impulse buy products, like very cool, trendy products, or low ticket products with a high emotional value. If you're going to use it for higher ticket products, it's not going to work. Like I've tested it. So yeah, storytelling angle. This is the angle where you use stories to sell stuff. This is particularly effective if you're selling higher ticket products, if you're trying to create a want for something, right? So if people don't necessarily want to buy something, then you create the want for it with stories. But if people want to buy it and you're using stories, it's not going to work very well for you. Okay. Just use the want it, buy it angle. It's simpler. You get more money too. Another reason why in the beginning you should focus on selling stuff that already converts, right? So like focus on selling stuff that people want to buy, not what you think people should buy, because with that you have to go the whole long route of creating the want for it, like manufacturing it, whatever. It's just a longer process. You can do it, but it's a longer process. Now let's talk about how to create amazing creatives, not how to create amazing creatives. That's a typo, because I was in a rush while I was preparing the webinar. Because I had so many ideas, I had to cramp them in. You know what I mean? It is hard. What are creatives? Creatives are really just the images and videos you use to promote your products on Facebook or Google or anywhere else. Okay, so here's a few methods to get your creatives, right? Method number 1, you create them yourself. This is I'll show you how to do it. Method number 2 is you download a video, and this is the easiest way to do it. If you're selling drop shipping products, right, this is very easy. All you gotta do is you gotta download a video, you gotta edit it, change the music, and like upload it. Really that simple. So the necessary edits you need to make are, you gotta trim the video. You can't have the same time frame. So if the main video that you downloaded is 30 seconds, delete the intro, delete the outro, change the music, change the branding, because you don't want the other company's logo on it. So you're gonna change the branding. Make sure the video is not trademarked though, okay? Because if it's trademarked, you're going to run into problems. Lots of dropshipping videos really are not, so you won't really have a problem there. Method number 3 is use your customer testimonials. Like ask them for like testimonials, and then take those and use them in your ads as creatives. That works well too. Method number 4, use placeit.com or any other mockup generator to get like really good mockups and use them in your ads. It's like, dude, I haven't even been doing this for like a long time. Okay, like when I got started and like earlier on, I would do this a lot, but I don't do it as much anymore. Method number 5, pay someone to do them. You can literally pay someone to get your creatives done for you, get your videos done for you, whatever. If you want to pay someone, guys, you can just email me, or you can just message me on Facebook. And I'll connect you to the person that can get you great videos, great ad videos. Okay, so yeah, what converts the best on Facebook, video or image ads? The answer to this really depends on the niche that you're in and the products they're promoting. If you promote any advanced products that require you to show the installation process, the product demonstration, etc., use videos. They convert the best and the highest. If you promote any simple products that do not require any product demonstration videos, use pictures. Okay, so if you're promoting t-shirts or whatever, yeah, so if you're promoting t-shirts or fashion accessories or canvases or shoes or any other simple products like that, use pictures. You don't really need to show a video of a t-shirt. There's no need for it. Okay, but if you're promoting electronics, custom printed socks, foldable mats, car seat covers that kind of need some explanation or installation instructions, I would refer to these as advanced products. All advanced products would convert better on videos with videos. Verdict. In any case, video is more beneficial because video views LLA is pretty powerful. And we've used that extensively. And there's a whole method that I created around it called the X method. Okay, and I forgot what X method that is. I think it's called the Facebook X method that I called it. I created it. I gave it to this guy, and he started making like $1,500 a day selling a beach mat. Okay, using the same exact method. The way the method works is you run a video ad, and then you create a lookalike based on the amount of people that watch that, and then you start running product purchase ads directly to them. It's pretty powerful. It's pretty powerful. I'll probably do a whole module on how to use that later. Test videos whenever possible. It's just better, guys, to use videos, honestly. Here's a few softwares to use to create creatives. Images, you could use Photoshop for images, Canva, Pixlr. These are all cool tools. Stock images, you can use Pixabay, Pexels. Stock images paid, you can use Shutterstock, 123RF. If you really want to waste a lot of money, you can go to Getty's Images. That's very expensive though. I'll give you one tip though, guys, right? Never ever steal an image from Getty's Images. They'll sue you. Those guys are they're tenacious like that. If you take an image from Getty's Images and run an ad with it, you'll get an email from these guys. It's happened to very good friends of mine. Okay, they were like, oh, this is a nice image. Let me try to use this in my ad. And they would wake up to an email from Getty's Images saying, hey, you owe us this amount of money, or we'll take you to court or something like that. You don't want that. So don't just stay away from Getty's Images. Go to Shutterstock, get the paid version of the pictures and use them if you want. Videos, Movie Maker, Adobe Premiere Pro, Camtasia, Quick Pro. Quick Pro is cool, right? You can use that. That's really it's really nice. Yeah, Camtasia is really cool too. That's something I use a lot when I create creatives. These days I don't create any creatives because I got a whole team for it. But back when I used to use Camtasia, Quick. It used to be cool. Here's a great process you can use to get products delivered to you fast. Order the product from AliExpress via FedEx or select ship from USA, and you'll be able to get the product very fast. If you're drop shipping AliExpress products and you want to shoot product videos on your own, you can use this. It's not even that hard, guys. I mean, take the product, put it on a table, and bring out a video camera. Can even be on your iPhone and just be like, oh, this is a nice mug. Look, cool. I had it in my party. We were drinking wine from it yesterday. So cool. This is how simple it is. Oh, by the way, there's another method that you can use. What you gotta do, guys, is you gotta message micro influencers on Instagram, okay, and tell them, hey, you know what? And you gotta the thing with this method is you gotta make it clear to them that you want them to shoot you a video, a great video, you're sending them the product for a creative. Okay, you're not doing it for them to promote it on their wall, because a lot of people, they feel like they're just doing it to promote it on their wall. You want to use their video as a creative to run ads to. Okay, so message these micro influencers. A lot of them are not making any money, okay, but they want to, and they have a good photography skill or whatever. So message them, even YouTube micro influencers, and send them the product. And one of the most important things is you got to get a contract in place with them saying that you're going to have the commercial license. It's called commercial license to the video, to the creative that he's going to send you. And then you're going to be running ads to it and stuff like that. So get a contract signed, send him the product. He's going to send you a video of how the product looks and stuff like that. Like he's going to basically send a video of the product for you, okay? And you can use that in your ads. So that's another easy way to get like great creatives, because usually these influencers, they have amazing cameras and all of that equipment. You can piggyback off of that. So yeah. Tips to create compelling Facebook ad images. Square sizes work best. So that's 180 into 180 pixels. Needs to be clean and message has to be clear. If there's too much going on in a picture, it usually doesn't convert very well. So make it clean, make it clear, and the message needs to be very easily visible. So don't use funny fonts, okay? Grab attention. You got to grab as much attention as you can. So again, as I said, play around with the contrast, play around with the colors, make it pop, okay? Relevant to your audience. You cannot, like, using random images works and helps you get clicks, but it's just not the most recommended way to go around it. Okay, use something that's more relevant to your audience. If you really want to use like random pictures of animals or whatever to get clicks, do them when you're retargeting. Okay, don't do them for your cold ads, because you'll get a ton of useless clicks. Do them for your retargeting. Okay, when you're running retargeting ads, use the cool animal images or whatever if you want to use them to get attention. I know a lot of internet gurus do that. Use social proof for your Facebook ad images. So if there's people using products, or if it's a testimonial, whatever, it's obviously cool. Okay, have less than 20% text. This is a standard rule. Use the Facebook's grid tool. Like you can go to Google and type in Facebook grid tool, and like you can upload the image and it'll tell you what percentage of the image is text. So keep that under 20% and you'll maximize your reach. You'll be able to advertise to a much bigger audience. Okay. Tips to creating compelling Facebook ad videos. So for this, use videos that are 30 to 90 seconds long. Okay, you don't want anything more than that, anything less than that. However, guys, look, okay, if you're selling advanced products, right, you can use more than 90 seconds. So if you're selling products that require installation instructions, whatever, you can use more than 90 seconds. If you're selling electronics, you can use more than 90 seconds. Use compelling music. And that's almost the most important thing, honestly. Subtitles. If using products, explaining videos, like use subtitles, because they really keep the user interested in the video. Because the thing is, with videos, if someone doesn't understand one small thing about the video, he's out. You know what I mean? Like his mind is not gonna rest. It's gonna be like, okay, you know what? This is weird. I'm just gonna get out, right? And you don't want that. Even if you stitch multiple videos together, you need to make sure that the transition between the two videos is smooth. Okay, it doesn't have to be raw. It shouldn't be rocky. You don't want that. Okay, social proof works best when it comes to videos. So the more social proof you get, the testimonial videos that they're going to use or whatever, that's going to work better. Now let's talk about how to write ad copy that converts. Simple tips to writing ad copy for e-commerce. Keep it short and simple. Look, honestly, if you're getting started, you shouldn't be running story ads, really. Unless they're testimonials. Like we had this one client. He was selling like custom printed socks. So you would send him pictures, and I had a stake in the business. I still do, actually. I still have a profit share in the business for the services that we ran for him. Anyway. So we were people would send pictures of their cat or their dog, and he would put it on a pair of socks and send it to them, right? And that's the whole business. So it's print on demand. And one of the things is we would get all these stories from people, right? So people would be like, yeah, I lost my dog 10 years ago. It was a very depressing time for me, and I'm glad your socks could help remind me of him again. I feel like I'm burying him or whatever. So we would take these stories and we would format them and use them as ads, and they would convert really well. But apart from that, there's no other reason for you to be using stories, like apart from testimonial stories. Especially if you're getting started, because if you're selling if you're selling your own product or whatever, and like you really have to sell it, then you can use stories, guys. But if you're drop shipping and you feel the need to use story for like a normal trendy product, don't. Like, it's hard. Like, you don't want to get stuck in that loop, trust me. Follow the intent guide and use power words that will stick, right? And I'll post a list of these words in the Facebook group so you can read them and like use them effectively in your advertising. Use these power words and you'll be able to get an edge over everyone else, okay? Or another thing is refrain from using any negative words. So if you use words like scam, kill, die, whatever, I'll give you the list for this too. Facebook's gonna cut your reach down, because it's like the algorithm is gonna sense it, it's gonna read it, and it's gonna be like, okay, this is a negative thing. You know what I mean? So yeah, careful with that. Follow Facebook's rules. Like, don't stray from the rules. Don't write anything outrageous. Lose weight in 2 hours. Anything like that is outrageous, right? Don't use any of those claims and you're pretty much fine, okay? You will not be affected by Facebook's aggressive vetting methods or aggressive enforcement methods. Here's a simple ad copy format. The reason I don't have like a very deep ad copy training here is because that's a training on itself, okay? Like creating creatives and ad copy and stuff like that. I might shoot you guys a module later down the line on creating amazing ad copy. It's not going to be free though, so it's going to be an extra. But here's a simple ad copy format. Do you love the Vikings? Call the audience out. So it's like, do you love the Vikings? Okay, and like if people love Vikings, they're going to be like, yes. And then the second line is something that I've sort of used for years and years and years, and it works very well. So when someone says yes, right, and you go straight into the claim, they're a bit lost, okay? Like, there's no smooth transition there. But when you say, if you answered yes and they're like, yeah, I answered yes, now what? You get 2 agreements from them. So the first sentence, they're like, yeah, I love Vikings. Second sentence, they're like, yeah, I answered yes. So there's 2 agreements. So it's smooth. It's more likely that they'll take action now, right? It's a very smooth transition. Then you would also love our one-of-a-kind handcrafted chalice of Valhalla, whatever, inspired by the originals used by the great Vikings. That's really about the product. That's the product description. And then there's a call to action. So buy one here, and there's a link there. And then we have scarcity here, which is there's only 87 of these available in stock. So grab one while stocks last. Grab one now. Another call to action. And that's really how simple it is, guys. Okay. Now, with that said, that's the end of the webinar, okay? And I hope you guys enjoyed the webinar. I have to say, I had a lot of fun doing it because this is some of the most valuable content I've ever shot. So, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. Let's go crush it. Go run some ads, crush it, guys. Looking forward to seeing you guys being successful. Let me know what you think of the webinar. Let me know if you have any questions, etc. in the group. And yeah, let's crush it. All right. Peace.